Good afternoon and welcome back to our Food for Thought segment. This is the sports betting top picks and plays for the college basketball. College basketball plays that we're going to have here this afternoon. On January the 28th, we got a full slate of games for college basketball. So we are going to begin with the 6:30 p.m. game. St. John's at Georgetown. This one opened up -4.5. St. John's total 138.5. Right now we're seeing 140.5 across the board. And the spread now is at -5. I see 5.5 now. So it's jumped by a full point. If you're wondering where we're getting this information from, as you know, oddslogic.com has all the updated information, latest injury news, up to the minute line moves, with the point spread, the totals, the over unders. That's oddslogic.com. So we'll look into this game further. Let's see. We'll look at it's St. John's number 15 on the road in Georgetown. Now they've already played. They played about 2 weeks ago, January 14th in St. John's. St. John's was a 9.5 point underdog in this game. The total at that time was 144. Right now, yeah, it's 144 at that time, and Georgetown covered, but they lost 63-58 by 5 points. Since then, we'll look at the records for Georgetown: 9-1, last 10 games, 5-4 against the spread, 4-5-1 to the under. So St. John's, they have won 6 straight games. 6 straight games for St. John's. And the over-under, they are 3-2 to the over in the last 5 games for St. John's. Georgetown, 5-5 last 10 games, 6-4 against the spread, 2-8 to the under. They're 1-4 in their last 5 games. 2-3 to the under. So Georgetown's at home as a home dog. Now, they have been playing competitive on the road. They've covered their last 2 games. They covered at St. John's and they covered at Villanova. They were favored by 1 at Providence, lost. They did cover Marquette 13.5. So they have been competitive. My take on this game is, surprisingly enough, based on Georgetown's last game that they played at St. John's, covering the 9.5 point spread, losing by 5 and keeping it competitive and close, along with covering on the road at Villanova, and after that covering at Villanova, then at Marquette. Marquette is a 13-point dog, and at Villanova as a 7.5 point underdog. I'm gonna actually take Georgetown here. Georgetown plus the 5.5. I'm gonna take them. I'm definitely gonna take these guys. They're very competitive. They've been covering spreads on the road. In their conference, they've improved, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Defensively, these guys have improved. They played very well defensively. And I actually like I know the line has moved. It moved to 140, from 138 to 140. But to be honest with you, I like the under in this game. And I'm seeing a 139. I saw 139 under. at Bet Rivers. Now I'm seeing 141. Don't understand why he's going to 141. That doesn't make any sense. I like the under in this game. Well, there's 141, 140, 139. I like the under. Georgetown's defense, they're basically, like I mentioned before, they are 2-3 to the under. So those games, even the spreads that they covered on the road at Marquette, at St. John's, at Villanova, these games have been under the total because they're playing defense. Just the offense is it's a hit and miss. But the defense is there, and defense can keep you close in games to give you a chance to actually win the game outright. So I like Georgetown here. Their defense is very good, and I think that keeps them close, within striking range of 5.5 just to cover this number. And I like the under. I like the under this game. Under. I know I disagree with the market moving to 140. Now I'm seeing 141. I don't know why, but I like the under here. Under one. Get it. I could get at 140.5. Under 140.5. I like that a lot. So that's my take on that game. Next game we're going to look at Providence Seton Hall. This one is 3.5 Providence. Total is 133.5. And right now we're looking at -3. So the number has dropped here. It's dropped in this case. Looks like it's dropped. Let's get an update on this game. So it's 3.5. Yeah, 3.5. Yeah, 3.5. Let's see here. Yeah, and it's 132. Let's see. Yeah. So I have a play on this game as well. I have a play that I like on this game. Providence Seton Hall. Definitely have a game on. I have a play on this game for sure. Head to head 6-4. They played 2 weeks ago at Providence, Seton Hall and Providence. At that time, Providence was favored by 8. Total was 129.5. Seton Hall covered, and they lost by 6 points, 91-85, and it went over 129.5. So right now, we're looking at Providence 4-6 last 10 games against other opposition, 6-4 against the spread, 7-2-1 to the over. Providence 3-2 last 5, and 5-0 to the over. Providence. Seton Hall last 10 games, 1-9 last 10, 5-5 against the spread, 5-5 over under. Seton Hall's lost 5 games in a row, and they are 2-3 to the under. Seton Hall. So the last game they played was 129 and it went up 133. That was the head-to-head when they played 2 weeks ago. And they're at 132. Let me look at this again. Let's see. Providence, they're favored on the road. And Seton Hall. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't trust I don't trust Providence on the road on this at this spot. I don't trust them here. I don't trust them here one bit. I like Seton Hall +3, +3 Seton Hall. If you can get them at 3.5, great. Let me look. Let me look right now again. Um, yeah, there's still some 3.5s out there. So if you can get a 3.5, take the 3.5, +3.5 Seton Hall. Yeah, in this game. I like Seton Hall here. Seton Hall +3. Providence, they haven't proven on the road that they can cover on the road. They've had opportunities to cover a spread on the road, and they have not covered a spread on the road as a favorite. Yeah, they've never been a favorite on the road. That's the thing with Providence. They've been underdogs on the road. So this is brand new territory for Providence to cover on the road as Seton Hall. So they're not in position to do that. They couldn't cover it 2 weeks ago at home against Seton Hall, and they were favored. And now you're asking them to cover on the road, and they haven't even covered on the road this year. They've been underdogs. So this is brand new territory for Providence. I know Seton Hall's lost 6 straight games. They have covered 2 of their last 3. Well, out of the 5 games, they're 2-3. ATS as an underdog. But those 2 covers, those 2 covers around the road, at Providence, at Butler, but at home they weren't able to cover as dogs at St. John's and Marquette. Obviously, those are far more superior teams. Marquette and St. John's are far more superior teams than Providence, obviously, in my opinion. So, to me, this is a step down in class for Seton Hall when they're facing Providence. I feel they match up well with Providence, even based on the last game that they played 2 weeks ago at Providence. You can see from that results that these guys are close. They play them tight. So I like Seton Hall here. I know they're on a losing streak. They've lost 5 straight games. I understand that. But I like him. This is more of a fade on Providence to not cover the 3.5. That's than on a play on Seton Hall. So I like the position and the spot for Seton Hall to cover at +3.5, or if you get them at 3, take them at +3. Either one. It's Seton Hall all the way. In terms of the total, from the total perspective, I have no play on the total. The total's a pass. I just like Seton Hall +3, 3.5. Shop around to get the best number, but Seton Hall all the way. Next game we're going to look at Kentucky at Tennessee. This one opened up at -9, total 147.5. Right now we are looking at 10.5. Some of it's gone to 11 now. The total is, we'll get to that. The total is the total is 146.5. That's the total. I have one play on this game. This is one of my favorite games of the day, one of my top games of the day, along with the other ones obviously I gave you earlier. But this one's right up there with my top plays. I gave it out earlier. Actually, I'm going to give it out right now. This one here, I like Tennessee. Tennessee in the first half. Tennessee first half -5.5. Shop around. I even like him at 6.5. If you can get, I got 5.5 early. I got it early. I would play it up to 6.5. So shop around for a first half number 6.5. 5.5 is even better. 6.5 is better. Both of them I would take first half. Um, the reason why I like that is because Tennessee, they've won the first half at home by an average of 11 points. They've covered by 11 points in the first half. Kentucky has chilled by as many as 7 points, 7+ points in the first half in 6 of their last 7 games on the road. So that's my play. Tennessee, first half, 5.5. That's where I got it at. Shop around, see if you can get the 5.5. I'd even play to 6.5. I saw 6.5 too. I played up to that. So shop around for the best number, but that's what I like. Let's look into this. I should have given you that play later on. I didn't look into the actual match itself. Let me look into that first. This is the first meeting of the season between these two teams. Kentucky, 6-4 last 10, 4-6 against the spread, 4-6 to the under. 2-3 last 5 games. Kentucky, 2-3 to the under. Tennessee, 7-3 the last 10, 5-5 against the spread, 3-7 to the under. 3-2 last 5, 2-3 to the under. Now I know the number has already gone up. It's moving up to 143. 146 from 145. Let's see. But I got it. Let me just see here. Let me double check something. Yeah, I'm gonna. Let me look at some other angles. Let me look at some other angles here. I'm gonna lean to the under in this game. Under 69. I see. Yeah, under 69.5 in the first half. I'm gonna take the first half under in this game. I like the under 69.5 first half. First of all, these are two defensive teams, obviously, based on the last 5 games or so. They usually play to the under. Tennessee's defense, of course, it's a defense that can stretch you out on the 3-point line. I know Kentucky relies on the 3-point shot a lot, so they're going to be defending that 3-point line and extending the 3-point line as best as they can in this game. So that plays a major part in the game going under the total. Even in the past history of these two teams, 4 of the last 5 games have gone under the total. So I like the under here a lot. I like this angle. It's lower now at 146. This is it's a bit lower than in past years, but I still like the under here. Again, it's just the style of play Tennessee plays. They have a stretch defense that'll give to Kentucky problems. They can stretch you out on the 3-point line, and that's going to play a big factor in this game, I find. And this, like I said, based on Kentucky's style of play, them being 2-3 to the under, and Kentucky, they're being 2-3 to the under, both in the last 5 games. So everything that I'm mentioning here, the season history, both teams in the last 5 games playing to the under. I know the market's going up. It's 146, but I'm going to disagree with the market. I like the under here. I'm going to disagree with the market. I like under in the first half, at least in the first half. First half under, 69.5. First half under. I like the under here. Yeah, I like that. I like that play, and like I said, I like Kentucky. I like Tennessee in the first half, 5.5. You can get at 6.5 as well. But try and shop around for the best number for a first half. Try and shop around. But that's what I like. I like that. And like I said, under first half, 69.5 first half under. Those plays I like. Next game. Let's see. South Carolina, Georgia. The total is 7.5. Sorry, the spread's 7.5. Total's 131. Right now we're looking at 133. It's still 132s on the board, but the 133s are starting to come up. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know why it's 133. And I'll tell you why it doesn't make any sense to me. I'll let you know why. And we'll break down this game. We'll break down the game in a moment. We'll break it down. Definitely gonna break this down. So first of all, we have South Carolina, Georgia. Georgia number 23 in the country. First meeting of the season. South Carolina right now 3-7 last 10, 6-4 against the spread, 2-8 to the under. South Carolina on a 7-game losing streak, and they are 1-4 to the under. Georgia 5-5 last 10 games, 4-6 against the spread, 2-7-1 to the under. Georgia's last 4 straight games, they are 1-4-1 to the under. Actually, let me correct myself. Sorry, they are 0-4-1 to the under. So you can kind of figure out where I'm going here. Both teams are on losing streaks, major losing streaks. So with both teams on losing streaks and both teams struggling to score and playing to the under in their last couple games, the only way I can see it, and I don't know why the market's moving up to the over, it's 133, and it's under 133. That's my play, under 133. I don't know why it's moving in that direction. It doesn't make any sense at all. It's got to be under 133 for me. Both teams struggling to score. Yeah, this is horrible. This is terrible. You know what? I'm even gonna look at a Georgia team total. That's another angle too. Georgia team total. That's another angle I'm gonna look at right now. Georgia team total. This one's probably even better. Let's see. Both are good, but let me look at the team total for Georgia. Yeah, this game here. I'm gonna. And Georgia's at home too. I think Georgia's problem is when they're on the road, they have problems scoring on the road, and when they're at home, they score, but they go under. My point is basically, the team total for Georgia is 70. 70, the team total for the over-under, but they do score a little over 70 points at home, so this one's a little bit dangerous. It's a dangerous play. That's kind of a dangerous. So I'm not going to touch the team total. I'll leave the team total alone. I'm just going to go with under the total. Under 133. I think that's the play for me. Under 133. The next time Georgia goes on the road will be in Alabama. They play Alabama this Saturday. That'll be the time to bet them, to look at the team total under. That'll be a good time to look at that. Team total under. For this game for now, under the 133 for me in this game. Under 133. Sides, I cannot touch the side because both teams are on losing streaks and they're playing trashy. Next game, Wake Forest at Louisville. The total here, 141. Spread is at 9. Louisville, in Louisville. Right now we're looking at let me take a look here. 10.5 is the current number right now. Louisville at Wake Forest, 10.5. That's the current number now, and seems like 90% of the public money is on Louisville. The public's got Louisville money all over it. Louisville, Louisville, Louisville. That's where the public's at. 10.5. Let's look at this one. Let's see. And the total, we'll look at total is 144. Total is 144. Now, if you shop around, some books do have it at 9.5. So, for example, FanDuel is 9.5, but they're going away pretty quick. The 9.5s are leaving pretty quickly. So, if you like Louisville, you want to get the 9.5 quickly. If you cannot get the 9.5, wait till it goes live and then bet it live at 9.5. So it looks like this game is trending to the over. Yeah, it's trending in that direction. Let's see the first half. A lot of angles to look at here. Louisville at Wake Forest. Let me look at this one again. Let's look at this carefully. Louisville, number 21 in the country. First meeting of the season. Wake Forest 8-2 last 10, 7-2-1 against the spread, 5-5 over under. So Wake Forest had their 6-game winning streak snapped at Duke. They lost at Duke. Everybody loses at Duke. Duke's not an easy place to play. However, they did cover the 11.5 point spread. They covered it, plus 11.5. They are 2-3 to the under. Last 5 games, 2-3 to the under. Louisville, 9-1 last 10, 8-2 against the spread, 5-5 over under. Louisville has now won 9 straight games. Out of the 9 straight games, they have covered 4 out of the 9 games. So close to half the games they've covered. That's Louisville. So Louisville, they have been covering at home. Clemson, North Carolina, they've covered at home. And they've covered on the road too. They've covered at Syracuse, at Virginia. Virginia's not an easy place to play, but they covered there. For the over-under, they are 3-2 to the over. That's Louisville. For this game here, Louisville's been impressive. Let's see Wake Forest. I see why 90% of the public's on Louisville. I can see why. This is Wake Forest's second time that they're an underdog on the road. This is an interesting game. So Louisville is 2-3 to the under. All right, Wake is 2-3 to the under. Louisville is 3-2 to the over. I'm going to take a first half angle in this game. My first half angle is going to be Wake Forest Louisville under 68.5. I like the under 68.5 in the first half. Louisville at Wake Forest. Instead of taking the side, yes, I like the first half under. I can see a scenario for this game whereby the offenses come out slow in the first half. It'll be a chess match between these two teams, where they're trying to feel each other out. That's how it is in conference plays like that. Then in the second half, they take off. I think they take off in the second half, and the offenses start coming. Especially Louisville. Louisville, they're at home, and they have a tendency when they're at home. Louisville, they usually explode and take off in the second half. I'm looking at their games here, and that's what I find here. So this is a tale of two halves. First half under the total, 68.5. Second half, I can see it going over, but my stronger play is the first half over. I'm sorry, excuse me. First half under 68.5. Wake Forest versus Louisville, under. So that's my take on that. No take on the side. Can't quite get there with Louisville on the side. I'm going to take the under 68.5 first half. That's my play on that game. Next game. Let's see. VCU at St. Louis. VCU -5, total 142.5. Right now we're looking at six. Six has come up across the board. It's mainly 5.5, but I just saw a 6. 2 6s coming across the board. And the total is 144.5. Let's see. That's VCU St. Louis, 8 o'clock p.m. Let's see. So we're going to look at the history of these games. VCU St. Louis. Okay, so look at the history of this game. VCU St. Louis. This is an 8 o'clock start. So they just played about 2 weeks ago. VCU St. Louis. This game was in VCU. VCU was -10, total 147. So VCU covered 78-62 as a 10-point favorite. It was under 147. That was the head-to-head. So VCU last 10 games, 8-2, 7-3 against the spread, 6-4 to the over. VCU has won 6 straight games. Out of the 6 games, they've covered 5 out of the last 6 games. And they have covered 3 games on the road, at Rhode Island, at St. Joe's, at Illinois. So they have proven that they are able to cover spreads on the road. VCU, they've proven that very much. So the total last 5 games, the total is 2-3 to the under. On the 6-game winning streak, they are 3-3 over under. On the 6-game winning streak. St. Louis, 6-4 last 10, 5-4 against the spreads, 0-9 to the under. They've gone under in 9 straight games. And 3-2 last 5 games. So VCU, so St. Louis, once again, they're a dog at home. So this game here, I'd be a little bit careful because St. Louis This is their first time as a home dog, but I like St. Louis here and the points because this is a look-ahead spot for VCU. Next up, they have Richmond. They have Richmond at home this Saturday, and they lost to Richmond as a 4-point favorite last March. Lost them last March as a 4-point favorite. So this is a sandwich spot for VCU. They've already beaten this team 2 weeks ago. They beat them by 10 or more points in St. Louis. At VCU, excuse me. Now the game's in St. Louis. So this is a look-ahead spot, basically a sandwich spot, because now they have to play Richmond on Saturday, February 1st. So with that being said, I like St. Louis because of the situational spot, the sandwich spot. That's why I like St. Louis, plus the 5.5. I like St. Louis here. So they're a live home dog for me. Even at +6, I'll take St. Louis at +6. I like St. Louis +6. I'll take him. I'll even take him there too, if I have to. +6 St. Louis. I like that. Nothing on the. If I had to take the over/under in this game, I'll bet the under. If I had to bet this game, it'd have to be the under. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like it's the under for me. Let me just double check. Let's see. Yeah, so I like the under 144.5, and I like under 144.5, and I like +6 St. Louis. So this is again, I'm playing it based on the situation. That's why I like St. Louis and the under. And the public is in agreement with me. The public likes St. Louis as well. So 74% of the public have St. Louis. They have St. Louis as well. The public is on St. Louis. St. Louis, 74% of the tickets are on St. Louis. Public's on all over St. Louis. So so this is I like this play here. I like this play. Yeah, St. Louis for me. I like that a lot. Next game, Michigan State -12.5 at home against Minnesota. Minnesota on the road. Right now we're looking at the number at 14.5. It's all the way to 14.5. I'm not seeing a 15. I thought I'd see it, but it's 14.5. Let's see. And the total is still at 130. Yeah, it's 139. It hasn't really moved. The total hasn't moved. It's been 139. I have a play on this game as well. Definitely have a play on this game. Yeah, I have a play on this game as well too. First, we'll look into this. Let me see something here. So we're going to be looking at the Minnesota-Michigan State. This is in Michigan State. Now they already played already. They played last year, December. Actually, last month, December, in Minnesota. Michigan State was a -5, 5-point favorite, total 131. They won Michigan State 90-72 as a 5-point favorite and went over the total. So Minnesota, 5-5 last 10, 5-5 against the spread, 7-3 against the spread. Minnesota's won 3 straight games. All those games, one of the games they won on the road as a dog at Iowa. And the other two games they won at home against Michigan as a 10-point dog, plus 4.5 at Oregon, and they won that game. 2-1 to the over last 3 games. 3-2 last 5. Last 5 for the total. 3-2 to the over, Minnesota. Michigan have won 10 straight games. 7-3 against the spread, 4-6 to the under. So Michigan State at home, Illinois, Penn State, Washington. So Michigan State last 5. I think we mentioned it already. Did we mention it? 3-2 to the 3-2 to the over. Yes, we mentioned that already. So they've been covering spreads out of home. Penn State, Illinois, they covered. So they've been covering spreads in the Big Ten. They've been covering spreads. Let's see the Minnesota side. Minnesota, they've actually covered 4 straight games. 2 of those games on the road. They covered at Maryland, at Iowa, and they covered 2 at home at Michigan and at Oregon. So they've covered 4 straight. 4 straight games they've covered. This is on the road trip, on the road. So Michigan, after they're done, they're going to California. They have a 2-game road trip in California on the West Coast. Now I like in this game. I like Minnesota plus the. Right now we're looking at. Let me get the updated number. 14.5. I like the 14.5 Minnesota. I like this one a lot. Minnesota, they're the type of team, they've covered not only 4 straight games, and they've covered 2 of those games on the road. So they're feisty road warriors who have played in tough environments. So coming to Michigan State should not really intimidate them. There should be no intimidation whatsoever. I know they got beat up badly last month at home against Michigan State, but I can see this game here as a look-ahead game for Michigan State. That's another reason why I like Minnesota. This is going to be a look-ahead game. They got the West Coast games at USC and at UCLA. So again, this is a look-ahead game. I mean, you've beaten this team already badly last month. You've already proven yourself. Now you got to play them again as a 14.5-point favorite. Yeah, definitely. To me, I look at this as a look-ahead game. I mean, Minnesota and Minnesota's coming on strong at the same time. 4 straight covers as an underdog, 2 on the road. So I like Minnesota here a lot. Yeah, I like Minnesota here a lot, and I like the under in this game. I like under the 139.5. I like the under in this game. That's another thing I like. I like the under. Like that play a lot. Minnesota plays at a slow pace. And I think with that slow pace, I know Michigan plays at a higher pace, obviously, but just based on what I'm seeing here regarding this number, let me just see one moment. Just checking something here. Yeah, so it's based off of what I'm seeing here and the total itself. The total's gone from 140 to 139. So it's telling me, and there's no resistance on the total. So this is telling me here that the public, 55% of the public is on the under. So this is a very good sign. Half the people are on the under. So I like the under here a lot too. And like I said, the pace of the pace of the game itself. Minnesota plays with a pace on the road. It's a slow down kind of pace on the road. Yeah, they play with that slow down kind of pace on the road. Especially in the last game against Iowa. Iowa, when they're big dogs at Iowa, the total was 150. It was 150. So they definitely play with that slower pace on the road, and it showed in the last game that they do this on the road. They did it at Wisconsin too. At Wisconsin, they play with that slower pace, and it stayed under the 139. So if they can do it at Wisconsin, and if they can do it at Iowa, I like them to do the same thing at Michigan. Use that same slow pace type of style of basketball on the road to keep it under the total. And another factor too, like I said, this is a look-ahead spot for Michigan. They're playing on the West Coast at USC, at UCLA. And remember, they've beaten this team already by over 20 points, I believe, in last month. So again, this is definitely a look-ahead spot. They're not really gonna taking that seriously. Minnesota. I know Minnesota's covered won 4 straight. So I like the angle for Minnesota, and I like the under 139.5. I like that a lot, and I agree with the market. The market has moved down from 140 to 139, so I like the market move here. I like it a lot. Next game we're going to look at Kansas at Central Florida. I believe these two teams have already played, but we'll look into it further. Kansas minus 14, total 153, and right now the spread it's come down to 12.5. We're seeing 13s on the board, so 13, but 12.5 still are showing, and it's 152. Yeah, so it's 12. It's gone to 12.5. Now the total it was at 152. Now 153 we saw. Then it came back down to 152. So we'll look into this further. And we'll look at the series history between these two teams. That's Kansas at UCF. This is an 8 o'clock start. So we're definitely going to look into this. Kansas is number 11 in the country. I believe they played already earlier. Yes, they did play earlier. I was correct. They played January the 5th. They played 3 weeks ago in Central Florida. Kansas was favored by 5 points. The total was 149.5. Kansas won 99-48. They covered the 5 points. It was under 149. Now it's at 152, and Kansas is a 12.5 point favorite. So it's a big difference here. This has jumped. Last 10 games, Central Florida against other opposition. 6-4 last 10. 7-3 against the spread. 6-3-1 to the over. 2-3 last 5 games. Central Florida, and 3-2 to the over last 5. Kansas 7-3 last 10. 6-4 against the spread. 2-8 to the under. Kansas 3-2 last 5. 2-3 to the under. Kansas 2-3 to the under. Central Florida 3-2 to the over. Let's see. Again, we have another game where this is a look-at spot. Kansas again. I can see why the number is dropping here. This is a sandwich spot for Kansas. So similar to the situation with Michigan State, where they beat up Minnesota last month, and now they have a look-ahead game on the West Coast against USC and UCLA. So there's a similar spot here for Kansas. Again, they open up at 14. Now they're down all the way down to 12. Yeah, it's all the way down to 12. So we're seeing 12 and a half now. Yeah, this is a similar situation for me. We're looking at the total here as well. Yeah, this game here, I have to take... This is a sandwich spot, like I mentioned. I gotta look at... let's see here for one moment. I'm just gonna check something. Yeah, I gotta take Central Florida plus 12 and a half. I know the public's all over Kansas, but I'm gonna disagree with the public here. I like Central Florida here, plus the 12 and a half. Remember, this is a sandwich spot. They gotta play Baylor next. They lost to Baylor. I believe it was in the playoffs. Yeah, they lost to these guys 74-82. This is back in March of last year, a year ago. So this is a rematch. So that's what I'm saying. This is a look ahead spot. I'm playing against Kansas in the look ahead spot. So it's more of a fate of Kansas because of the look ahead spot, sandwich spot, than it is UCF. So I like Kansas here and the points, 12 and a half. I like him here a lot. I wouldn't talk you off the first half either. The first half is 4.5. I would not talk you off of that at all. I'm looking to take that myself actually. 4 plus 4.5 first half. Let me look at this one more time. Yeah, Kansas in the first half. UCF in the first half. I like that spot. I like him a lot in that spot. UCF in the first half. 4.5, and then the full game, 12 and a half. Yeah, so I like this spot quite a bit. Let's see. Because Central Florida has played well on the road. They have covered at Texas Tech. They've covered at Arizona. Arizona is one of the toughest places in college basketball to play. They covered there. Covered at Arizona State. So the last game they didn't cover against Iowa State. But before that, they've been covering spreads like crazy, like as a double digit. So I liked them. I liked them in this spot here. I liked them against Kansas again. I think like I said, I think they cover the first half and the full game. I like him here a lot at the 4.5. Actually, I just saw 4.5. How did it get to 7? It was 4.5 first half. Oh, I must have hit a different button by mistake. Yeah, I'll still take UCF. I like UCF in the first half. Plus 7.5. I'll take UCF. UCF plus 7 first half. And like I said, full game, 12.5. So I like that spot a lot. No play on the total. I just like UCF. I like the situation here for UCF. So I'll play that. Let's look at the next game.
Alert.
Dayton at St. Bonaventure. This is -2 Dayton. Total 135.5. Right now, we're looking at saw 134. It's kind of strange. Let's see. Let's see. Dayton Bonaventure. Let's look at this game here. Yeah, I do have a play on this game. Let's see. So this is an 8 o'clock start. So Dayton ranked number 22, favored on the road. First meeting of the season, Dayton 6-4 last 10, 3-7 against the spread, 6-4 to the over. Dayton 3-2 the last 5 games, and 4-1 to the over. Dayton last 5 games. St. Bonaventure 5-5 last 10, 5-5 against the spread, 6-4 to the over. 1-4 last 5 games, 4-1 to the over. Ooh. Well, this game here is at 135. Dayton, they covered at Duquesne. Duquesne's the only cover that they've had. St. Bonaventure as a home dog. Actually, this is their first time as a home dog. They've been favored everywhere they go. They've been favored. The only way I can look in this game, St. Bonaventure and Dayton, I gotta look at the over. Over 135.5. I like the over in this game. Over 135.5. Actually, the number is coming down too. Yeah, I'm gonna bet the over 135.5. Let me see if I see the first half number. Let me see something. Not sure if I'm gonna get to the window, but I lean to the over 135.5. First half here. Yeah, so over 135.5 is the lean. I'm not sure, like I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to get there or not. That is the lean for this game. No play on the side. If I had to play something on the side, it would be, I lean to, let me see. I lean probably to St. Bonaventure, but I'm not too sure. I guess it is just a lean. No strong play on this game whatsoever. Next game, Marquette at Butler, -8, total 147.5. We still have -8s across the board. It hasn't really moved. This number has not really moved. And the total, total is 147. Yeah, in this game, let's do the breakdown. I have a definite play on this game. Let me see here. More of a strong play here for Butler game.
Alert.
So they have played last month in Marquette, December 18th. Butler was a 14.5 points underdog, total 148. Marquette did not cover. Butler covered on the 14, but they lost by 10, 80-70, and it was over 148. Now in this game here, Marquette's 8-2 last 10 games, 3-7 against the spread, 4-6 to the under. So Marquette 4-1 last 5, 2-3 to the under. Butler 2-8 last 10, 5-5 against the spread, 8-2 to the over. 2-3 last 5, 5-0 to the over. Butler. So in this game here, I'm going to look at the under 147.5. I know the first meeting it went over the total. of 148.5. But I just feel that this next game
Alert.
here, I like the under in this game. I guess these are two familiar teams that know each other inside out. So I'm going to take the under here. I like the under play, and the market's reflecting that too. When the number's going down, or the total's going down, it's correct. I agree with the markets here. Let's see. Yeah, I agree with the markets. I like the under here. Next game we're going to look at. There's a lot of them here. We're going to go with Oklahoma at Texas A&M. The Texas A&M is -9, total 144. Right now we're looking at 144.5. I saw a 45, but it's going to be 144.5. And the spread is from -9 to still minus. It's been 8.5. Fanatics. Let's see. Yeah. So now we're seeing some 9s on the board as of 4 o'clock. Let's see. Pinnacle. Yeah, I just saw a 9 come up on the board. Now the total is, let's see. Oklahoma at Texas A&M, 9 o'clock starts. Yeah, I like the under 144.5. And yeah, 144.5. I like the under in this game. Under 144.5. I like this angle here. 144.5. Next game is Notre Dame at Georgia Tech. Notre Dame -9, total 145. Right now it is at -8, and it's at 143.5. Yeah, 143.5. I like this angle. Let's see. So this one here, let's look at this game a little bit more in greater detail. We'll check this one out. Notre Dame at Georgia Tech. This one's -8. They played it last month, New Year's Eve, at Georgia Tech. That was the beginning of the ACC. The ACC divisional play began then. Total was 143 at the time. Georgia Tech 1.5 point favorites. Georgia Tech covered it and won 86-75, and they went over the total 143. Both history looks at these two teams. They're 9-1 to the over last 10 games. So right now, Georgia Tech 5-5 last 5, 4-6 against the spread, 5-5 over under. Georgia Tech 1-4 last 5 games, 2-3 to the under last 5. They've had a hard time covering on the road too. They haven't covered in 3 straight. Haven't covered they've lost 3 straight road games. I haven't even covered the spread in those road games. Notre Dame, 5-5 last 10, 6-3-1 against the spread, 4-6 to the under. They are 2-3 to the under as well. So both teams are contrasting to the under. They're getting a lot of underplay here. Yep. Let's look at this game. Let's see. Georgia Tech, Notre Dame. Yeah, there's only one way to bet this game. I have to look at the under. Georgia Tech, Notre Dame. I have to look at the under in this one. I know they're 9-1 to the over last 10 games, but based on the movement of this game, the points is letting me believe that the under is the play in this game. Under 143.5. Just based off of that alone. And we mentioned here that in this game, Notre Dame 2-3 to the under. Georgia Tech 2-3 to the under as well. This is in the last 5 games, so everything correlates to the under. So I like under 143.5. That's my play on that one. Next game, North Carolina at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh 3.5 point favorites. Total 154 is the total. Right now, I'm looking at it's at -2. Total is -2, 2.5, and we're looking at. Let's see. And in this case here, I like the I like the let's see. Let me look at this again. I like North Carolina team total. Team total in this game it was 75 when I last saw it. The North Carolina team total. I like that one. Let's see. So North Carolina team total, we're going to look at. $75.5. I like the over 75.5. I like that kind of play. Pittsburgh has allowed 82 points to Florida State University. So if they allowed over 82 points, imagine how many points they're going to allow North Carolina. Remember, they're 20th in the country in scoring. They score at a high rate. So I like this number here, over 75.5. That's North Carolina to cover against Pitt. To score over 75.5 points against Pitt. I like that one. That's my play on that game. I wouldn't talk you off of the over either, but I like the team total over 75.5 North Carolina. That's my play. Next game, BYU at Baylor. -3.5 Baylor, total 143.5. We're seeing some 4s on the board. Yeah, we're seeing a 4 on the board. Baylor by 4. I'm sorry, BYU by 4. Excuse me, BYU by 4. And 92% of the money is on BYU. And the total is. Let's look at this. let's see. So BYU Baylor, let's see. This is a 9 o'clock start. Let's see. My play on this game, I like the money line. I like Baylor on the money line. I like BYU on the money line, BYU. And I like the, let's see, I had it here. BYU should win this game at home. I like them at home. And let's see here. And in this game, and we're gonna look at over 143.5. I like the over 143.5. BYU Baylor. I like the over in that game. So over 143.5, and I like the money line. Baylor on the money line. I'm sorry, BYU on the money line. BYU on the money line and over 143.5. And 87% of the public is on the over. They like the over in this game. I like the over too. Over 143.5. I like that. Let's see. Cincinnati at Utah. Utah minus the open up at Pick'em. Total 137.5. Right now, it's at 1.5, and the total is at 139. We're seeing a lot of 139s. Let's see. One moment. Let's see. So this game here, we're going to look at. This is a tight one. 1.5. Let's look at this one. Let's look at this one in greater detail. Cincinnati at Utah. Let's look at this game here. Very tight number. This is the first meeting between these two teams. Never played before. Cincinnati 4-6 last 10 games, 3-7 against the spread, 2-8 to the under. Cincinnati 3-2 last 5, and are 0-5 to the under. Sorry, that's Utah. Excuse me. This is Utah. Utah 3-2 last 5, 0-5 to the under. Cincinnati 4-6 last 10, 3-7 to the under. 3-7 against the spread, 1-9 to the under. 2-3 last 10. Yeah, 1-4 to the under. Yeah, so this game here, automatically, what I'm seeing right away, the way to approach this game, I gotta look at the under 138.5. Yes, I like the under here. Under's the play for me in this game. 138.5, the under. Both teams are basically trending to the under. And 60% of the public, 60 to 80% of the public are on the under in this game. So that's what it's showing here. So I like the under here. And in terms of the side, I have no play on the side. That's a pass, but I like the under 138.5. The market's heading in the right direction in this game. I like that. Next game up is Gonzaga at home at Oregon State. 13.5 Gonzaga, total 155. Right now it's 15.5, and the total is 151.5. So I like the under in this game, under 151, Gonzaga. And I like, let's see, they're usually a good first half team. Let me see something. If the first half is warranted tonight. So the first half number here, we're going to look at let's look at the history. Let's look at the meetings between these two teams. Let's look deep into this further. Look deep into this one. Let's see, Gonzaga, Oregon State. Let's see. So they played earlier this year, 2 weeks ago, at Oregon State. Gonzaga was a 9-point underdog. Yeah, Oregon State was a 9-point underdog. They won and covered 97-89 in overtime and went over the total 151. Now, this is the rematch in Gonzaga. It's 14.5. So the next 10 games, Oregon State 6-4, 6-4 against the spread, 9-1 to the over. 4-5 last 5 games. After the Gonzaga game, they were 2-1. And 3-0 to the over. Overall, 5-0 to the over. Gonzaga, 7-3 last 10, 2-8 against the spread, 6-4 to the over. 3-2 to the over last five games. Sorry, 3-2 last 5 games, Gonzaga. And 4-1 to the over. So again, I know the game went to overtime, so it went over the total, but I like let's see. This is Oregon State on the road. Yeah, I like the over in this game. Over the 151. I know the market's showing it's going down from 152 to 151. But I like the over here. I like over 151. I think I agree with the public. The public has it over. And I like it going over myself. Have to agree with the public on this one. 151.5. I like the over here. Let's see, Oregon State. Let's see. Yeah, they've been playing very well here. I like the over 151.5. That's my play for that game. Sides, I'm not touching the side. Just the over in that game. Let's see if there's any other games to look at, or that's it. That might be. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. That's all the games for the college basketball. That's it. We've covered everything. All the games for this Tuesday. Thank you very much for tuning in. Again, you can fade or follow the picks that I'm giving you. I just choose the picks that I feel are best for what I see and what I believe in. Fade or follow, either way. I hope you cash your tickets either way. Good luck to you. Stay true to yourself. Stay humble. Believe in yourself. Peace. See you tomorrow.